Welcome to The Wellness Code. Nurse Melinda from Finish First Medical is here to share a variety of medical information and solutions to enhance your health and well-being. And now to guide you through The Wellness Code, Nurse Melinda.
Well, hello, Nurse Melinda. How are you doing today?
Great. Michael, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fine. You are radiant and delightful. I'm just kind of delightful.
We can make you radiant by doing some skin exosomes, and then you'll be brighter than this room.
Oh, my gosh, I'm going to do that. Hey, you brought a friend today.
I did. I brought my other friend, Michael.
Oh, my gosh, I understand. This guy's name is Michael Blair.
Yes.
Michael Blair, how are you?
Hey, I'm getting better with practice.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Wellness Code.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
You look pretty well. I'm going to just say a couple things about you, but we'll let Melinda fill in the gaps. I understand that for 34 years, you've been a licensed marriage and family therapist and a coach. Is that correct?
Yeah, 34.
So I guess one of these days you'll probably get the hang of it.
I'm not planning on it.
Okay.
No, not in this life.
So what do you specialize in?
Oh, I specialize in a lot of things. I'm really, really good at helping people take pain out of their emotional lives. Pain they may have carried forever. They've been to therapies, all kinds of them, 25 years. They often come and they partake of what I call the Feel Better Finally system.
Oh, yeah.
And the pain actually comes out like a thorn out of your hand, so you don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
And then you're free, your identity shapes up, and you know who you are, and you can sail off into the sunset in a much better way.
That sounds great. And I understand that you are so good at this. You actually have written a book. It's called When in Doubt, Spin It Up, Spin It Out.
Some people say spit. I like to say spin.
We'll say spin it out. I'm going to hold that up so folks can see it. And we'll show it up again at the end as well. I think this is great. So, Nurse Melinda, how do you know Mr. Michael here?
So I met Michael through a networking group called BNI here in St. George. And since then, we've actually realized that we have had some similar patients throughout the last couple of years. And it's been very fun to work with him and our patients, because at our clinic, it is really important for me to have a mind-body medicine component. Because if our mind is right, then our body's going to be able to heal itself a little bit better. They all connect. And one thing that I love about what Michael is all about is helping people get through childhood traumas, or even through things that are happening right now, so that we can break those barriers into our lives so that we can have a better, healthier life.
Wow, I think that's great. So, Mr. Mike, how'd you get started in this line of work?
Well, I think I had 5 sisters. I was the oldest,
Yeah.
I think that's what happened to me. And so somehow out of all that, I decided, I got to be a therapist when I grow up.
I think that kind of makes sense. If I had 5 sisters, I'd probably still be in therapy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you probably would.
Yeah. So you've also got a bunch of kids?
Yeah, we had 8 kids with 7 living, and then we have 25 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren, and I only have 1 wife of like 52 years.
Really?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm about to say something obnoxious, but I won't, because this is a serious show.
We can be obnoxious.
Yeah, we don't laugh around here.
No.
I understand over the years, 34 years you've been in business, you've got over 5,000 clients?
Yeah, that was a good rough estimate. I think it's probably a lot more than that.
You must be pretty good then.
Oh, I don't know about that part. I've been practicing for a long time, and I'm still working at it.
Well, I think you must be good, or otherwise you wouldn't be hanging around Nurse Melinda here. So,
well, that's probably true. We make a good fit.
It's interesting. I just thought of this when I was thinking about emotions in the intro. One thing that I had mentioned to your son is that we have emotion in color. And he was like, wait just a minute. My dad always says, what color is that? And I'm like, that's because we actually feel emotion in color. And so I just thought of that. It was a squirrel moment.
Yeah, it's a great piece. It kind of ties into the when in doubt, spin it out part of what we do.
Well, tell us about that.
Yeah, it's really fun. The process, we call it the spin, release, replace, reprogram. That's one version of the name. But for short, the spin. And the book title, of course, When in Doubt, Spin It Out. involves some spinning in the process that we use,
Oh.
which is really, really cool. It helps most people be able to shift out of a mind state of, annoyance of your brother or your mother or your father or your, co-host. And
No, that never happened.
yeah, it never
No.
happens. And shift it not only out, but also shift in self-chosen feeling states you want in. And in about, believe it or not, 10 minutes, most people, most adults and children are able to shift it over. And then they go, what did you do to me? And I'll
Really?
yeah, what did you do to me? And I say, did I do that? No, I just asked them, and they did it.
Well, give us an example of that. We're going to be here for at least 10 minutes, so do that on Melinda.
Oh, there you go.
Well, we sure can if
Okay.
you want. But I'll tell you what, I'll do the first part. I don't
Okay.
want to take the whole 10 minutes, really, to do all that with you.
Do it in 5.
I want you to come to another source for a better application for yourselves than just watching her here.
Sure.
So, but let's just think of one thing, Melinda. Like, how about that bank?
How frustrating the bank can be.
Right. So
Holy.
if you think about that bank and that frustration, where do you feel that feeling in your body?
I think you feel, I feel frustration in my back and in my chest.
Perfect. Oh, she's so easy. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And now I'd like you to imagine you can pull that right out of your chest and back and make that feeling state into a shape and a color, as you indicated.
Right now it'd be very red.
Red, what shape?
I don't know. Maybe circle.
Circle's good. Real popular. So here's the deal. What I'd like you to do is notice which direction that red circle spins in, just as you feel that pain.
Okay. It's going counterclockwise.
Nice. Now I'd like you to spin it the opposite direction at hyper speed, like a washing machine high speed or a tornado, until you spin it all the way out and disappear. And then tell me how you disappeared it.
Well, that was weird. It just disappeared. Like I just
It's fine.
blew up.
Blew up. It's great. So what you can notice is that right now you don't really feel that frustration at the moment. It's kind of like, where'd it go?
Right.
Isn't that remarkable, even that far into this process? Maybe we'll take you for a bit of a ride here. Let's go ahead, because you're doing so well.
Yeah.
It's like maybe we can manage that here.
Maybe it helped that I read the book a couple times.
Well, isn't it nice to have a great student that actually reads the books or listens to it on Audible, which you can do now. So here's the next part. Think of 3 feeling states that you would like to plug in, like peace, joy, happy, forgive, any of those. Find 3 that you'd like.
Okay.
Just say them out loud.
Oh, okay. So gratitude, satisfaction, and abundance.
Awesome. Now, I'd like you to imagine you can breathe those right in through those achy places where the old pain came out of before, but breathe it all the way into your body, mind, and spirit. Just breathe it all the way in. When you feel like those feelings are there, all mixed together and nice and sweet, give me a yes.
I will.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay. Next piece is weave all 3 of those into the fabric of your personality in a very creative and powerful and permanent way.
Interesting. Did I say satisfaction was one of them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Because what did that have to do with the bank anyway? Like those are subconscious thoughts, right?
That's right. Those feelings come from wherever they come from. The bank is a trigger point. That's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. But so now you got those woven into you?
It's getting there. I have to really come to terms with satisfaction.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You probably
I mean,
do.
the other ones were fine. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm
But
grateful.
satisfaction is really in what you also want to feel that. You don't want to feel angry and all this
Right.
stuff.
Right.
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 So when you've got that all the way into you, then take all 3 of those with you down your timeline from today's current state of mind all the way down to the youngest you that would best benefit from having those installed into her. When you've got those installed into her, then tell me how old she is.
I would probably say 5.
Yep. Often people go surprisingly all the way down to 5. They go back to birth sometimes too. It's amazing. Pre-verbal things also fit into this process remarkably. And so then imagine taking that 5-year-old by the hand and walk the 5-year-old right on up your timeline to your current body age and have her just merge right into you. Become part of you, so you're all one now. Take a nice deep breath.
It's kind of strange as I'm looking at like the 5-year-old, right? Then I'm like remembering things happened when I was maybe 8 and when I was 10, and that all had to do with inadequacy.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go. See, this generalizes right on out into something bigger than the original feeling.
Right.
And that's one of the beautiful pieces that happens, and you found inadequacy. That's great. And so when you get all of the growth up to that point where you feel like you're growing up, then you just weave her or just have her merge right into you. Then you walk into the future and you notice how these wonderful gifts will have benefited you in the hours, days, weeks, months, and years ahead. And man, most people go, I can't believe it. I feel so different.
How do you train or teach people to observe those changes? Or does it just automatically happen?
Yeah, no, it usually, I can take it for a longer spin time, if you will, and we can expand on it. But oftentimes we just stop right there, and I ask them how they're feeling, how's it going, and then I go back to the bank and say, how was it at the bank now in your mind? What do you think happened? If you went back with these tools in hand now, how's the bank doing? How are you feeling?
Oh, I am sure the people behind the counter are a lot happier with the person I'm right now than I was before. Because I can be kind of mean, and I don't mean to be, but I can be.
So what I want to say about this is so valuable that we've developed and are beta testing right now. It's called a program called Resilient Happy Family Plan. And this particular process called the spin, we then, for example, last week Tennessee, the family had every child come forward and experience a spin from a pro, right? And so they had 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, another 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 14-year-old, an 18-year-old, and mom and dad already knew about it, so they just kind of vicariously shared. Those kids swallowed it down like, no, they were so great. I mean, they're fantastic. The kids are even better than most adults because they don't have a large collection of crap to get through.
Right.
And so during the next 2 days, the mom calls me and she says, wow, this one had a big bad test to take. And he took the spin with him to school, did the spin on himself, got rid of his testitis, and aced the test. That's one example.
Wow.
Another one, young sister said that she was having a hard time going to sleep that night. Her mind was racing. Her mom gave her a child-invited run of the spin, and she went to sleep in about a minute. So these are the kinds of applications. And so we're giving this to this family, and then met again later to find out what they'd been able to accomplish during the week, and we had incented it so those members who did one or more got $1 per. And we're doing the same kind of follow-through in the weeks ahead now, building a 90-day program for most families and or teams who want to participate.
And is that in your new book, or is that something separate?
That's something that's separate. The book talks all about the process. The book shares some of the how-tos, and in the back office on page 35, there's a QR code, or you can go to the Audible and find the codes through that system also. But either way, that's a place to learn some basics. But if you really want to get it done right, you do it with one of our coaches or a pro a few times. Yeah. And then incent it to become habituated into the family. This may be one of the best gifts you can ever give a kid.
Right.
So that's called the Resilient Happy Family Plan? That's what that's called?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. In fact, right after this meeting, we're going to start a fresh one.
Nice.
Yeah.
So out of the 34 years that you've been a marriage counselor and therapist, what brought you to the point of writing the book? I mean, what kind of educational moments or aha moments did you have to say this is really would work and this is your theories?
So I noticed that it was working for my clients, hundreds and hundreds of clients. And I realized it wasn't, copyrighted anywhere. So I asked the people who introduced it to me if I'd be okay, and they said, sure, go do it. So I did the book, and as an effort to get this out to thousands and thousands of families so they can actually put this into practice and habituate it so that children do not end up full of crap, basically, to say it loosely, or when you collect a whole lot of stuff in your life, it slows you down.
Yeah.
So you give this gift to the children, the parents have it in the home, happy families come out of this kind of experience, plus love, plus, value systems, and good nutrition, whatever, those kinds of things as well. But this is really a key element that most people have never had, a way to challenge and beat their emotional upside downs so quickly, so easily, and it's just a simple thing to do. So I think most families can swallow this down and or teams, if you're in the business world. It just happy children make happy moms make happy children. And of course, if you're employed and you're a mom, 60% of us are, or they are, the women in the world, then what happens is you are more productive at work as well.
So about how many sessions does it take before the family or the person starts seeing some actualized results?
Right now we're looking at a 90-day plan because it takes a while to habituate things. So this family got 10 in 2 weeks. And we have a setup now for a reward system for the next 2 weeks. And then we're going to go on. And then we're going to have some groups for everybody to come to ask questions and sort and add to what they want. And then we have several other strategic pieces that go with this in the 90-day plan that we're working on.
Is each session about an hour or two?
It's between 1 and 2 hours.
1 and 2 hours.
Depending on the size of the family. You know?
So you see everybody all at the same time?
See, a whole family comes out at the same time unless they want to go private, and they can. I'm flexible enough. They can take the computer to the upstairs bedroom and do a child that's not wanting to be in front of everybody else. Oh. Sure, we can do that.
I think, yeah. I was surprised at how fast you were able to elicit a response from Melinda just in that short amount of time. Personally, I was trying to follow along with you. I now have a strong desire just to go to the bank.
Yeah, right.
I had a square instead of a circle, and it was spinning the wrong way. But I thought that was great. That was really pretty amazing. I understand you've got something to do about helping with long-lasting emotional pain due to betrayal.
Yeah, I do, and that's probably been my lead specialist area for at least 10 years. And it is beyond what you've ever seen. Most people don't know what it means or don't know how to get rid of the emotional pain that creates reactivities in their lives. Automatically, they bubble up. Boom, why did I do that?
Yeah.
What the heck why did she do that? What's going on? Why? What do I need to understand here? Well, it's not a talk therapy. We do some of that too in preparation to get people in shape to do the process, but it's an inner mind relaxing process where we actually access those places within, those parts of us within, and actually have a way of relieving and releasing the pain that's there permanently so that it doesn't continue to bubble up anymore. And then we have a way, when that's all done, we do the whole package. And then we do what's called an identity rejoining. And at that point in time, people find that they have smoke come out their ears, and they go, whew, now I think I've got like the keys going back into a piano.
Yeah.
I really know who I am and where I'm going and what's up. And they find themselves able to maintain with the spin and a couple of other tools that we have. And so it changes the fabric of marriages and families and life, workplace, all of it. It's extremely fun. I can tell you, like one really fun example. A wife was betrayed by her husband. Felt like he had a wandering eye, and he fixed that with me, and he was worried about divorce. So we continue to work with her, and she's out in Minnesota. It was really cool, just over the video. And in one of these trauma conversion therapy pieces, she was able to go from hating him to completely loving him.
Wow.
That, you talk about a mirror changer.
Yeah.
I called her back 6 months later. She said, I just wish I'd found that a long time before. Oh, my gosh. So if you're really hurting in one way or the other, or you have a really messy family system going on at home, you're too tired from work and you can't put up with the kids, all that stuff, and you really want to smooth it out and get a cooperative thing going on in whatever relationship life you have, and with yourself personally, then you're going to want to take advantage of something like the spin, which goes in inner mind as well, and also the TCT piece, which is incredible. And this happens all in record time. We're not talking 25 sessions. We're talking 10 maybe.
Is this something that has applications for the workforce? Something an employer could use for his employees and vice versa?
Yeah, all of this applies to the relationships between employees and employers. It does. And, of course, on location, but also at home. So it has a really maximal effect. And so, of course, again, I'll say it again, happy employees make productive employees.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to, again, you don't have to teach a cooperation to a happy kid.
Right.
And you don't have to teach it to a happy employee. They just do it because they love their coach, right? Or they love their team.
They want to please people, too,
Yeah, they
when they're
want to.
happy. Yeah.
They really want to do it, and that makes for such a greater result than, anything you can imagine.
So I'm reading a book too about setting boundaries, healthy boundaries. It's I think it's called Setting Boundaries to Save Your Life or something like that. I don't even know. I just read. But anyway, it talks about, and I consistently talk about this as well, is when you're setting boundaries, if you don't set them correctly or early enough, it turns into resentment. But I think resentment has that same, when you're talking about betrayal and even about an employer-employee, there's a level of resentment that carries on and builds to the point where you are just dissatisfied, don't like them, don't want anything to do with them. And you're talking about taking that resentment away?
Yeah, we have to be ecological. For example, I wouldn't take anger necessarily away from a woman that really is being abused and needs to leave her husband, needs the anger to do it.
Right.
I wouldn't do that. I would watch for that. However, when they're ready and they're finished with that journey, they no longer need the justification, and then it's time to clean it up. And then there are quite a few others, like the description you gave, who have a lot of resentment build up for whatever reasons. It could be personal or otherwise. They just are sick and tired of being resentful, but they still want their job.
Right.
So this is a great answer.
Yeah.
Because you can take the resentment and pull it out of there, blow it away, and replace it with what you want to have. So you might even be able to look at your employer, who is a scallywag, as somebody providential, in the sense that they are teaching you something that you really need to learn.
Right.
And so you shift yourself over to a better person because of your employer, and that's a big win for you, and it's actually a big win for them.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. This is pretty incredible stuff. I've never heard anything like this before. I'm glad that you brought him in today, Nurse Melinda. So anything, before we go, have anything else you'd like to share with us?
I just want to make sure everybody knows that they can find me on whenindoubt.spinitout.com. And don't hesitate to just reach out and talk to me. For now, I have space available to talk. In the future, I expect to be very busy. But I am working to have a set of excellent coaches to also back me up on this. But for right now, you might even talk me out of a free spin. Can you imagine that?
Oh, my gosh. Wait, you want to give me a free spin? No.
Yeah.
I'm turning my Jedi mind trick, and it's not working.
There you go.
So I just want people to know this is something really absolutely exciting and special. I'm going to tell you, I also I've done a lot of personal work with this, and I can tell you, I can take charge like I didn't know I could.
Right.
And that's what I want to give to the rest of the families, the workplaces, the ability to take charge in ways you never knew you could, easily and in 10 minutes, in most cases.
Yeah.
Melinda,
Love that.
any parting words before I hold up Michael's book?
No, I just think I want to thank you for coming and sharing your story and your expertise in this. It's so important, and as everybody gets to know about the podcast and the different things, mental health to me is a big component to being the person we need to be in order to have a healthy, happy life. And at any point, if anybody has any issues or, just reach out. There's always somebody who's been in your situation at some point in time that is there for your help. And, even just going to Michael's website and just saying, hey, I'm here, can you help me? That is a big step.
That is a big step. So I want to repeat your website. It's whenindoubt.spititout.com. I'm holding up your book in front of my face. I'm sure everyone is grateful it's in front of my face. You're welcome. And Melinda, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, I know you offer free initial consultations. How they get a hold of you?
Yep, you can go to our website at www.finishfirstmedical.com, or you can call us at 435-500-6734. I almost forgot.
Wow.
I know.
Need to spin her again. So sure. Well, Michael and Nurse Melinda, thank you for being here with us. We'll see you guys again next time with another exciting episode in The Wellness Code.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mike.
You've been listening to The Wellness Code with Nurse Melinda from Finish First Medical in St. George. For more information, finishfirstmedical.com. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time on The Wellness Code with Nurse Melinda.